TikTok. We're doing a thing. Okay. There we go. Hello, everyone. I'm going live with my friend Jayne on here on Instagram. There's 3 devices happening. This is kind of wild. Okay.
Hello. How are you?
Doing well since the last 30 minutes. Okay.
Oh, good. We have some people here. This is great.
We do. I'm going to put you in charge of keeping track of questions on Instagram.
Okay, sounds great.
So that I can focus on TikTok and YouTube over here.
Okay, awesome. So hi everyone. My name is Jayne. If you don't follow me, Jayne Mattingly, and Cassidy and I've been following Cassidy for a long time. I think we've both been following each other, and
for a long time.
Yeah, and we should just kind of explain, I guess, kind of how disabled voters for Harris kind of came about, because it's a cool story.
Yeah.
With Ought to Ask Us. So I'm sure a lot of you saw the Zoom calls that have kind of been forming with Black women, right? Basically, when Harris announced that she was going to be running, they, hosted a Zoom call of over 44,000 Black women.
Yep.
And rallied together. And then since then, more and more of these community calls. And so on Friday, I think, I put out on Instagram being like, let's do one for disabled people. And Cassidy was like, yes, let's do it. And then we got in touch with amazing Beth, who is with Ought to Ask Us. And with that, we are now in touch with Leslie Tomlinson. Leslie Tomlinson, that's your last name, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Why am I blanking? Yeah, I just know everybody from Disco for Harris. Leslie, and she's so amazing with her political background. It's so incredibly helpful.
Mm-hmm.
We have Mia, and we have now Zabora, she's an ASL interpreter as well. This planning committee is so amazingly beautiful. And so we're excited. This is going to be on Friday, August 2nd at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. It's our first call with 2 panels.
Yeah. Whew.
Crazy.
It's so much information.
It is. But we've been working literally day and night to get this up and running and being taken seriously. And the Harris administration sees us. Like, they see disabled people.
They do.
And I think this is the first time in a long time that we feel seen. So it's incredibly exciting. I spoke with, someone on the campaign yesterday, and they were like, we see your community.
Right.
And I really, really felt it for the first time in a really long time.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to look at...
Sorry, there's a small bird outside my window. It scared me. Yes, there are 2. Guys, I'm not answering any questions right now about my disability. I do a few lives a week usually. But I think this question, does that pop up for you too on your screen?
Yes.
Okay. So I am voting for Harris because, to me, she's really the only option. She wants to work on expanding disability rights, and Trump is actively trying to take things like the ADA away, things like DEI away, and that will affect all of us. That will affect every single disabled person in this country. from education to resources to parental resources. Not only is she doing that, but is he doing that, but he's also taking the rights away from many, many, many marginalized groups, many other marginalized groups. Disabled people are just one of those marginalized groups. And not only that, but he did say that all disabled people should just die. So that's why I'm voting for Kamala Harris. And that's why I think all disabled people should be voting for Kamala Harris. She's the only option for us to keep our rights and to expand our rights, because the ADA is the bare minimum. Truthfully.
Truly, the ADA is the bare minimum. And I think VP Harris really sees the ADA as the bare minimum rather than the ADA as something to throw away.
Agreed.
And I think that's what the Trump campaign and the past Trump administration has shown us, is that the ADA is something that doesn't matter anymore. And it started to dwindle and go away. And the Harris campaign, I can see already, is listening to all of these live Zoom calls, and it's informing her policy, which is so cool. Like, this has never happened before in the history of our country, where this is true democracy, where we are literally forming a candidate's policy because we are speaking out. And so our voices really, really, really matter. Like, come talk, or come and listen and ask your questions on Friday. Like, they are listening. They care about us. And so that's why I'm voting for Harris, because I feel like I am finally seen as an equal and a human. There's, on Friday, we're going to be talking about voter rights and voter suppression. We're going to be talking about community, and just things like, continuing respite care and long-term care as a disabled person, things that I think just go unnoticed within the disabled community once we age, and all of that I think is so important. So many reasons, but those are just a few. Also, that she is a woman. She is a Black woman that is running for this president. She represents our country the way I want her, like the way I want this country represented. So there are so many ways in which I think, why I want to vote for her.
Right. Yeah, I think that, again, somebody's saying that neither of them are good options. And while that may be true, because I do agree, I think that it's kind of the lesser of two evils in this situation. I think that this is the only option we have.
We also don't know yet.
Yeah, we also have no idea, but we do know what happens when we elect the other party into this country. We've seen it. We saw it from 2016 to 2020. And personally, I wasn't happy with how that turned out. I saw a lot of people become very oppressed, more oppressed than we already are. I saw so much hate, so much discrimination. And I don't want that to happen again. I don't want to feel unsafe every single time I leave my house. And frankly, I think that's exactly what's going to happen if we elect Trump. If we elect Trump again.
Absolutely. And I think, again, the reason why disabled people are rallying around this is because we are opening the conversation to, the mass disabling event over in Gaza, and we are talking about our rights, and we are being seen as a community finally for the first time in decades.
Yes.
Like, this is huge.
Yes.
It's not just about healthcare and putting a stamp on it. It's actually saying, we see you. I know I've experienced voter suppression. And I am someone who is a disability advocate, and you would think okay, that would be, Jayne would be someone who would feel really comfortable advocating for herself. But even that, with all of my privilege, I'm a wheelchair user, but with all of my privilege, I even felt like I couldn't do it. So we are going to make this, disabled voters for Harris, we are making this so that no one ever feels that way. This is a community where we are uplifting everyone. where it's like your vote truly matters and that you can get your vote in.
Somebody on YouTube just said not voting is a luxury when you don't have to worry about eugenics. And I think that speaks volumes.
Wow.
I 100,000% agree with that. Not voting is a luxury. Not worrying about your rights being stripped away from you is a luxury. Not worrying about, being forcefully sterilized, being institutionalized is 100% a luxury. And if you're not worried about those things for yourself, you should be worried about those things for your disabled sibling, family member, aunt, uncle, whoever in your family is disabled. 1 in 4 adults in this country is disabled. So if you're not worried about those things for yourself, we need to be worried about those things for our neighbors and for people we love.
Yeah, you're so right. Like, I think people don't think of disability as because of ableism, right? People don't think of disability as a everybody issue.
Yep.
But, I think that's, again, like something that the Harris administration, I think, is starting to really prove that, like, she sees disabled people as what they really are, as what we really are, as like people in chronic pain, people with visible and non-visible illnesses, people with who are neurodivergent,
right?
Like all of these things with constant representation and multi-marginalization. So everyone is welcome at the table when it comes to this conversation. And yeah, I just think it's really important. We have a question here. It says, what if the ADA gets updated?
Great. It should be.
Like, if it gets better, that would be
It should be updated. Think about it. 1990 was 34 years ago. That's too long. Everything has changed in the last 34 years. Name something that hasn't. Technology has changed.
I'm 33.
Yeah, I've changed. I was born. I'm 22. There are so many things that have changed since the ADA was enacted, since it was written, which was before it was enacted, obviously. So, the bare minimum is the ADA. The bare minimum is being able to get into buildings, which I still can't. The bare minimum is being able to use public transportation, which I still can't. I just did a video about not being able to get on a shuttle safely. The bare minimum is the ADA, and for something to not be updated in 34 years, if it was anything else, people would be outraged. People would be so upset if something hadn't been updated in 34 years. So I think we need to have the same energy when it comes to disability rights and disabled people. My boyfriend is on here, so I'm just gonna make him a moderator.
Okay, great.
So I think that it absolutely does need to be updated. I think that disabled people, we at least know one other person in our lives who is disabled. Every single person can say that. Whether it's, your distant cousin or your dad, so I think that the ADA is the bare minimum. And if it gets updated, when it gets updated, that's what, people like Jayne and me and Leslie and Beth and everybody else on our team is fighting for. We are fighting for our rights. And it is, truthfully, it's exhausting. I will say that.
I'm exhausted.
We have been working tirelessly on this for the last 4 days.
Yeah.
It's our full-time job. Not just the graphic that we put out is just scratches the surface. We have a call with White House executives tonight.
Yeah.
I don't think people see what we're doing behind the scenes, and the people who are on our team that are in politics are like, this is what politics is.
It's wild.
It's just behind the scenes work all the time, and I am exhausted having to constantly prove to able-bodied people not only online, but also in real life right now, that I deserve to exist is exhausting. So
that we deserve a seat at the table.
Yeah, that we
but
deserve
also
to be
that,
heard.
That we haven't had a seat at the table.
Right.
Like, I think that that's another thing too, like, is that we haven't had a seat at the table. And that is something that I don't think a lot of people have noticed.
Somebody said something really interesting on my YouTube. It says, disability wise, I can see how you would want to vote for Kamala, but I will say if you are a veteran or honorable discharged soldier, you get treated very differently.
You know, I really want to hear that perspective, because I know that in our country, veterans are really, really not treated well, and haven't been treated well, to be honest, ever, including most disabled people. Veterans fall under, a lot of times, people with disabilities, with mental illness, PTSD, physical disabilities. People who are aging are also considered disabled, depending on what it is. So I think that's a really interesting perspective,
and I do think we need to talk about that genuinely. I don't think that's yours and my place to talk about what it's like to be a discharged soldier. I have no idea what that experience is like. However, I will say, if you are a soldier who's been discharged, you're disabled.
Yep.
Enough said.
You are a disabled voter. That is.
You are a
right.
disabled voter. If you were injured in combat or in the military in any way, shape, or form, you have a disability. I deal with this all the time in comment sections where people are like, "Well, I just wear glasses. I'm not disabled." Yes, you are. Just because your accommodation is normal, it doesn't mean anything. You're still disabled.
Or accepted. Yeah.
You may not look like me, but you still have a disability, meaning you should be fighting for disability rights. Hate when people assume we can't do a lot of things for ourselves. Agreed. And I think that's where the disconnect is I think Leslie in our group chat, she said something the other day that was great. And it says that she said something along the lines of, a lot of disabled people don't know that they can vote, don't know that their vote matters.
So true.
And it is so true.
One thing I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, go ahead.
Excited.
Go ahead.
Going.
No, I was done. Go ahead.
One thing I didn't know, and again, like, we are all learning this together, and that's why we're so excited to have a multidisciplinary team, is because, like, people like Leslie are just, like, so helpful. Is I didn't know that you could, like, ask for the ballot to be brought out to you and things like that. Because here in South Carolina, like, most polling places are at churches, and churches are not necessarily, they don't have to go by the ADA. So
true.
So, like, I didn't know that. And here I am, a disability advocate, and I didn't even know that. Right. Oh, Martha, this is my good friend Martha. She's an amazing advocate here in Charleston.
Oh my gosh, you were talking about her the other day.
Yes, I was.
Yes.
I was.
Hello, so nice to see you.
Follow Martha. She is genius.
I will be doing that. Somebody said on YouTube, I'm a veteran and disabled, and Trump was horrible for both. I remember disabled people being arrested to protect their rights. Yep. I remember seeing disabled people being arrested and lifted out of their chairs. That was a video that went around for, I believe, fighting for SSDI.
Wow. Okay, I am now seeing these questions. Sorry.
No, it's okay. So this person asked this and then corrected their spelling error in the next question. It says, "Can you speak to the importance of registering ahead of time to vote? Because it can be so challenging to get to the polls." Yes, please register to vote. If you have not registered to vote, please go to iwillvote.com or vote.org to register to vote. Because you don't want right now. Keep this live open and go open another tab. Because come November, everybody's going to be so overwhelmed with information that people are going to completely forget that they need to register to vote. So that absolutely needs to happen for every single person who is over the age of 18 in this country. And even if you are, I believe, 16.
Yeah, I was going to say if you're going to be.
Yeah. If you're going to be voting age by absentee ballots, yes. I'm going to finish this first. If you're going to be 18 by election day, register to vote. You can also pre-register to vote when you're 16. I did that. I believe in all states. Oh my God, there are so many things happening. Okay, hang on. So absentee ballots.
Yeah, why don't you look at a question from there?
Okay.
While I talk about, I'm looking at all this. It looks like we covered those questions. Also, when it comes, we're going to talk about this all in on Friday. But when it, like on Friday, I mean, in South Carolina, I remember being in college when this law passed.
Yeah.
When you needed a picture ID to vote.
Yeah.
And so, for instance, I don't drive anymore. So I don't need my driver's license. But now is the time, if you live in states where you need a picture ID, right? So a lot of disabled people might not drive.
Right. That's a good point.
So
thank you for bringing that up.
Go get a picture ID. You don't need a driver's license to get a picture ID. Now, these are all things this is voter suppression. And I guess in this live, like Cassie and I also want to just like hold space for the fact that like this is all body grief. Like this is all seriously significant body grief that we experience as disabled community. And like it's okay to just feel really, really frustrated and
overwhelmed.
Yes.
Fighting for our rights is exhausting, guys. You can take space for that. Please.
Yeah.
Fighting, constantly having to be educated about exactly what rights you're going to lose if this election does not go the way we want it to is exhausting because no one else is doing that. Very few people are doing that or just jumping on the train to do that. So it's exhausting. Take time for yourself, please. Christine says, yes. Okay, I have a really interesting thing.
Oh, hi, Christine. Oh, my gosh.
I love Christine.
Oh, you know Christine?
I think so.
Yes.
Pretty sure. The disability pride flag in their bios. Yeah. Okay. This person brought up something really interesting that's also voter suppression. My signature changes during the course of the day. So throwing out ballots with a difference in signature also affects disabled people.
Wow.
That is a genius comment. I'm going to shout them out. T Flowers on YouTube. That is, yeah.
Not my snap's not working.
I'll snap her board.
Not my hypermobility affecting. I'm like, it's like a quiet snap.
Yes, that is extremely correct. I don't know what other word to say that I really agree with this comment. Yes, that is a very interesting point of view that I ableistly didn't think about.
It's like we continue to learn
the privilege,
internalized ableism, right? Like it's wild because if we don't experience it, sometimes we just don't think about it. But that makes so much sense.
Right.
I know too, one thing that's happened to me is, and Cassidy, I wonder if this has happened to you with like my service dog, right? Like the girl will be like, no pets. And I'm like, this is my service dog.
I run into that all the time. All the time. I feel so bad for the people on my YouTube. The only way I get paid, they're going to listen to this after they come back. The only way I get paid by YouTube is if I insert ads into the live. I'm so sorry.
Oh, do your thing, get your bag.
I'm sorry. Guys, I'm working in politics for the last 4 days. Please, I need the monetary help. We need to fight for a more digital way to vote. 100%. Yeah, we do. We do need to fight for a more digital way to vote, because the signature thing is a very real issue. Hashtag we are not going back.
We are not. We are not going back. We just have to keep pushing forward.
Yes.
No pun intended. Hey. Pushing forward.
That's the name of my friend Alicia's podcast.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to be on it tomorrow.
Oh my God, I'm going to be on it in 2 weeks.
Oh my, look at us.
Not all disabled people know each other. Not all disabled people know each other. I feel the need to say that out loud.
Yeah.
But
I'm
most of the
also
time we do.
short-statured, and when I went with my mom when she was voting, they belittled me because of my height and started talking to me. Oh my God, the infantilization of disabled people needs to stop, including in politics. Like
Yes.
when we talk about people with disabilities and with neurodivergence, it's like no. Like developmental disabilities and things like that, we are people, right? And so just because we might look different, no.
Yeah.
Like we know how to vote, we know how to make decisions.
Right.
We are not children.
Right. Agreed. I'm looking to see any other comments. Oh, this was another question I've been getting more recently in DMs. Also, YouTube can see my boyfriend in the background. But one of the more common questions I'm getting right now is it literally just is, is this call on Friday mainly going to be focused around fundraising? And the answer is no. That is where our calls differ from like the white women for Harris, the black women for Harris, white dudes, black men. Those calls that are happening right now, those are very fundraising based. We did not want to do that with our call, mainly because disabled people in this country are already very hard pressed for money. And I'm not going to drain everybody for money. So if you want to donate, please do. If you can, if you have the means to do so, please do. Oh, he's on all the lives now. Please do. But please know that you do not have to, and we are going to mention it in the call on Friday, but at the same time, we are not going to.
Not the purpose.
It's not the purpose. The purpose is to educate people on how to vote, inform disabled people of. We're switching things around. Inform disabled people about their rights and what they can ask for at the polls and everything along those lines. And yeah, mainly the purpose of these calls is to educate people, not to raise money. So again, if you have the means to do so, please do. To be clear, I do not get free money. Social media is a very real job. Thank you.
Also, what is free money?
What is free money? How does one, if anybody knows how to obtain free money, please let me know.
Someone said, hey, beautiful, is this a call on Zoom? So yes, Friday. We have, should I drop, oh wait.
You can, I can pin it, I think.
Okay, we'll drop the thing in there.
Okay. Let's just see if it works. I was going to ask the same question. Yes, it's a Zoom call. You absolutely do not have to have your camera on. That's not a thing. You do not have to do that.
I don't think anyone is seen except the panelists and the moderators.
Phenomenal.
And then the chat, there's a chat that's going to be moderated as well.
Where you can ask questions.
Yes. And this is like a really safe space for disabled people. Like we are going to really have you in mind when it comes, like I have a mental health background. We have like a really cool, we're going to be doing like breathing techniques and like just thinking about everyone with this.
Somebody said the free money is the money you get from being the only grandchild for 10 years. I would love that.
I love that. Wait, you know what I think of free money as? Bonds. You might be too young for bonds. Do you have any bonds?
I don't, but I've heard of this.
Okay, so I used to get bonds as a child, like as a gift from like my grandparents, and I'd be like,
honestly, I would love that.
And well, like as a kid,
you're like, no.
Yeah, I mean, my mom would always be like, be grateful for every gift. And I'd be like, thank you. And so then, like, all of a sudden, you know, I turned 30 and my mom's like, oh, you can go get your bonds. And I was like, wait a minute.
You were like, free
That felt
money.
yeah.
Yes, please. Anyways.
Sorry.
Somebody left a comment on my YouTube saying that I get free money, and that is very much not true. Will it be shown later? I'll be in the hospital on Friday. Oh my gosh, Christine. Yes, it will be live streamed. So I am currently live streaming on my YouTube, where it will also be live streamed. It will be live streamed on TikTok and Instagram. I don't know who's yet.
We are pushing this out to as many influencers as we can to do the same.
If you want to be one of our live streamers who's live streaming the call on a mobile device, probably your phone, please DM me and I will talk to you.
Right.
Or DM Jayne. Anyone on the team, you can please feel free to DM.
Yes. And everyone follow Disabled Voters
for Harris.
You can follow, you're following Cassidy, follow me at Jayne Mattingly, follow Ought to Ask Us.
Yep.
And I'm going to put the other, where do I put, gosh, I don't want to mess anything up. I keep thinking I can
put it in the chat. Put it in the chat and then put it in the chat. People see it.
So we have Leslie and we have Zabora and we have Nia as well. And all of us are on the planning committee and have really, really awesome perspectives when it comes to this. And we are also talking to people outside of ourselves as well.
Also, everybody will be accommodated. There will be captions, live captions happening. There will be an ASL interpreter the whole time. We will be doing visual descriptions every single time somebody speaks. A Special Olympics athlete. Hey.
I was just like, okay.
Hey, how you doing? This call will be accessible in all forms. And if you heard something just now and you're like, wait, what about this accommodation? DM me. Please DM me and we will talk to the team and get it figured out.
And that's what the registration form is for,
yes,
right? So like
pre-register.
Fill out your needs. Yep.
We will accommodate you. Everybody on the planning committee knows what it's like not to be accommodated. So
yeah,
we're not doing that.
This I don't like politics.
I also hate politics. However, I'm in it now.
Yep, I do too, because so I'm writing a book. This is Body Grief, out March 18th.
Can we pre-order it?
You can pre-order it, yeah.
Go pre-order it.
This is Body Grief. You can go on anywhere, but Penguin Random House, they have it up there, and Amazon. But I talk about how it's so unfortunate how like we have to grieve the fact that like our bodies are political.
Right.
And especially in this moment in time, our bodies are so political. And so we have space for you here. Like we are holding it. And if we can make this as easy as possible for you, like let us do that. And that's what the Zoom is for.
Somebody on YouTube just said people need to be informed about their politics. And I could not agree more. Yes, people 100% do need to be informed about their politics. That is what this call is for. It is to help inform disabled people where their vote is going, how to vote. The reality is you are kind of taught how to vote in school. However, people who were probably in special ed never learned that. So a lot of disabled people don't even know the logistics about how to vote or what their rights are. That is also why I don't talk about politics. Me neither. But here we are. Not anymore. I'm very political on these pages. Can you explain what is going on and who Harris is, please? Yes. So Kamala Harris is a former prosecutor. She is currently Vice President of the United States. And I'm taking it way back, okay? Because I know there are some people on these.
She's also the former
Attorney General?
Attorney General.
Yes.
What, Senate?
Oh, is she in the Senate?
Senator. She was a senator.
Yeah, she was a senator.
Yeah,
Um,
for California.
for California. So I know we have some people on that are from other countries. So taking away back, she is a former prosecutor. She was in the United States Senate. She's former attorney general for California. Thank you. People in the comments are helping me. If I forgot anything, please let me know. Anyways, so she is running for president. She's in the presidential election right now. Next week, I believe, is the Democratic National Convention, where they will hopefully, it's undoubtedly now, they will nominate her as the official Democratic nominee. And I say it's inevitable because too many people have come out that are in politics and already endorsed her. So she will get the vote.
Including Republican senators.
A lot of Republicans have, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Kamala is a powerhouse. I'm Canadian, but definitely want her to win.
Yes, because it's gonna this vote is going to affect the world.
Yes. And it will, because Donald Trump has said that he will pull us out of NATO.
Mm-hmm.
He will pull us out of the Paris agreements, which quite literally will start World War III with just those two things. So yes, Kamala Harris is really the only option for us. But the problem is that Trump already has lots of votes. Yes, however, Kamala is beating him.
Yeah, we're doing
this
this.
point.
And we have 98 days.
We have 98 days until Election Day.
And Project 2025 is a very real thing that is out there and is terrifying for the disabled community. It is terrifying
Everyone.
Everyone. The Black community, women.
LGBTQ.
It's LGBTQ. Literally for everyone you can think of that you love, it is terrifying for, and they are proudly saying that this is something that they are going to be enacting that has already been underway. And so when you think of kind of like, oh, my vote doesn't matter, this is when we say like your vote actually really, really, really does.
Somebody said the veteran and disabled people portion of Project 2025 is absolutely terrifying.
It is. And I also say, like, protect your heart when you go into these things, but also keep your mind on. So, like, protect your heart, ground yourself, use your coping skills, understand that this is body grief, and also, like, keep your mind alert, protect your heart. Like,
yes.
This is a sprint, but also, like, this is why we're holding spaces like this.
Yep. Somebody said, will there be more than one call? Yes. We do not have the other calls. We do not have them scheduled yet. But yes, there will be more calls because the reality is we do have 98 days. So we could do a lot in 98 days. And my personal goal is to have at least one call. If not, then at least a few lives like this where I'm streaming on 3 different platforms at once every week. At least every week. We are also trying to get influencers' eyes on this. If you are an influencer, reach out to either Jayne or me. We will get you connected. We have a separate influencer group that's happening. So you guys are just as important. The reality is social media is, as we've seen, extremely powerful and will be our leg up in this. So we need to utilize and exhaust every single resource that we have. And my main one, and I know Jayne's main one, is social media.
Yep.
So if social media is your full-time job, even if it's not, even if you post but have a following, please DM one or both of us.
DM one of us and we will give you proper information.
We will give you everything. We are coming up with a group where everybody can stay connected with what we're doing. And yes, there will be more than one call for this because this is extremely, extremely important.
All right, guys, I have to hop off and meet with a panelist for Friday and secure that spot because we have some really amazing panelists. Pinch us, like this is so exciting. And yeah, I'm just, thank you so much, Cassidy, for continuing to hold space for the disabled community,
100%.
for amplifying this. Every single one of the people, again, Beth from Odd to Ask, Leslie Tomlinson, Templeton. I just called her Leslie Tomlinson. My mind.
The whole time.
And Zabora and Mia, we're fighting for this, but we see you guys fighting for this, and this is amazing.
Yeah. All right, everybody. I think I'm going to hop off all lives.
Okay.
It's going to take me a second to do that, but
all right. Thanks for having me.
Yes, of course. Thank you for coming. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Make sure to go pre-register at the link in our bios.
Yes.
Okay. Bye, everybody. Okay. Instagram has ended. Discard. Okay.
Things are moving quickly for
Stop. Hang on, everyone. Yes, have a great week, everybody. Sorry, I was mainly on Instagram, but hello, YouTube and TikTok. If you heard all of that, thank you so much for watching. I know several of you have stayed for the entire thing. Please make sure to go to the link in my bio. YouTube, there you have to go somewhere else for the link, either my TikTok or my Instagram. But okay, please go click that link in my bio so that you can register for this call that is happening on Friday, where our goal is to educate and empower the disability community to vote for Kamala Harris. We have amazing panelists. We're going to have a Q&A segment. Our call is going to be a little bit different than some other people's, where our call is mainly about education and not about raising money in any way. If you want to donate to the Harris campaign, you can, by all means, but please don't feel pressured to do so. Make sure to go also check out my merch. There is a deal right now on my merch where 10% of it is going to go to the Harris campaign. That is money of mine that I'm making off of my merch that is going straight to the Harris campaign. So please go buy my merch. There's a vote design out with the disability symbol, like the wheelchair thing on. Just go look at it. Thank you. Accessibility symbol on with for the O. You know what you get it. If you don't, go look at it. But yeah, make sure you go check out my merch. Make sure you go do all the things. And I love you. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.